Can you hear me now? I didn't realize my microphone looked like my microphone was off. So the question is, do I just start it over or do I just have like 7 minutes of dead air time? Yeah, I guess I forgot to hit the button on the microphone. All right, well, we'll just keep going, whatever. Sorry, yeah, well, I was explaining all kinds of stuff I was doing, but yeah, apparently my microphone was off. So I'll make sure I include that for the viewers in the future on YouTube. So anyway, this is just a variety of basically neutral colors mixed with kind of bone colors. And we just kind of build up highlights on the various bones. And we kind of just bounce between different slight tones of the bones to try to add variety. These guys are like constructs of different bones. So it's good to have a mixture of bone colors that you're using. And we're using the Ghost 6 brush here, available on Kickstarter right now. The Ghost Tiny Kickstarter is live. Please check it out if you have not. About to hit 100,000. So he's already been kind of pre-washed, and we're just going to kind of bounce back and forth. Let's get a little green here. Maybe the kind of rib bones on this horse are in the greener tone. Maybe these ones as well. Maybe we'll put some in this armor plate up here. Oh, we got more. Let me check over here in the chat. No, I didn't cut anything off the banner. I didn't. I want to. But my thought was I'll just paint it, and then one day if it breaks, I'll throw that part away. If it's too fragile. Yeah, it's got the full birds and stuff flying up there. I don't know how we'll paint those yet, but just trying to basically apply different bones. Let's get in some of the bluer ones here. We can make some kind of bluish bone colors. And we're just kind of moving around the model. Actually, I ended up kind of green, but that's fine. Just moving around the model and adding some highlight into the different bone areas. I'm going to rinse the brush. I haven't rinsed it in a minute here. Yeah, we went ahead actually beforehand too. I just used the contrast paint ultramarine blue to base the banner and the cloth. Last time we were doing that on stream, but I think this will save us some time. Let's go ahead and put some of this lighter blue on there. Just kind of roughing it in. And let's jump ahead too right away and just actually put the blue into where some of the armor is going to be. It's not necessarily like the final coat of blue, but we'll kind of base coat it a little bit here. Yeah, I did go ahead and wash all the cavalry guys. So all of them are to this level now. So that way we have a starting place that's a little faster. Yeah, the contrast paints I use a lot is like my base coat. It gives you some of that base coat plus shading. Oh, got a little too much blue in there. Let's darken that with something. Maybe this kind of brown color. And we'll hit the armor on his body here. The way I'm painting this guy, his armor is not actually going to be the same between all the models. It'll be roughly the same. It's not going to have the identical amounts of blue, but it has blue. So that's going to be good enough for us. Basically, we're just blocking in some of this blue. Usually we were doing this near the end, and I think maybe it's better to kind of put it out there early so we can see the direction we're going. There we go. Great. Rinse that off. And let's go back around this kind of purplish tones, and we're going to pick up some ice yellow. Yellow and purple are complementary colors, so they kind of turn gray when mixed together, which is perfect for what we're doing because we want muted, desaturated bone colors. Maybe this little tip, maybe this one's a little greener. Put this kind of green tone on it. Sometimes I like putting the kind of greener, oh, got a little purple there. Let's see if we can make kind of a greenish bone color, and we'll put that on his leg. And we'll hit his foot. Maybe his hand with that just for now. Arm. And basically what we do at the end is we just cheat and use panel liner and kind of pop all the details. Just like using a wash or whatever. Well, that's kind of cool. He's got kind of a big arm bone that's not covered in armor there. I'm gonna put some up there. Why not? And I'll just go ahead and get some kind of dark purplish color here and base coat this cloth. We've just been doing this kind of strap with kind of a purplish tone on the other models, like a magenta pink kind of color. There we go. And just in case we can see it a little bit, we'll actually hit that pink on the sword handle a little bit here. Cool. All right, let's jump back into some of this kind of more bone color. Yeah, I use a lot of the contrast in both of those ways where you're getting like a free base coat and shade kind of started. They're really great to use right before like something you dry brush, just because you get that base coat shade. You can go right to the dry brush. Let's start bringing some of the highlights up into his neck here. If you've watched the other ones, I actually quite a bit like to bring their faces up a little bit lighter. And the same with the backs here. Oh. And I basically drop them every time, but that's fine. And we'll keep going. Bring some of this light color. One thing I like to do when there's like a rib cage style bones like that, you just kind of keep highlighting the middles of it. Same with like the neck. Just focus your highlight kind of towards the middle, like how you would highlight a cylinder. That gives it kind of a volume highlight look. It's kind of nice. Let's take any of this random bone mixture. You can see I'm just bringing it across. And let's make a lighter blue here. And get some of this armor. And we'll just I'd like to try to speed this up a little bit as far as how long it takes to get them done. Although I do think the other ones came out really nice. It'd be cool if we could speed paint them a little and keep the quality. So maybe I'll try and just go faster. I don't know. Is that how you paint faster? I don't even. I think we'll get a big scoop of this. This is distilled water and AK Interactive Ultra Matte Medium. I'm gonna put a kind of a thick coat on this here banner. Try to change its tone a little bit different than the armor. And we'll actually apply that to the horse cloth. Blew that up. Technical term is blew that up. There we go. What's up, chat? Let me know what you guys are working on as well. I don't know if I have any videos on it. I think a decent understanding of the color wheel. But by that, I just mean understanding that blue and orange are complementary, like just the complementary colors. Basically, I would recommend complementary colors without even a second thought, which is basically blue and orange are complementary colors, red and green are complementary colors, purple and yellow are complementary colors. That's about it. And when you mix complementary colors, they desaturate and make desaturated kind of gray colors. And then what I'm doing with these models is I'm just trying to make the grays interesting. So if you could, I guess, imagine you can just imagine these are all grays, except for like the blue cloth and the blue armor and the blue banner. So just think of these as all grays. Now, if I take my gray, which happens to be a yellow and a purplish type tone, and it's got a little more purple in it. In this case, it's like Indian flesh or African flesh from scale 75. Then it has basically like a purple tint to the gray. If I take a green gray, which is maybe like a yellowish bone color with some of this blue or a blue gray, then we got, a green tinted gray. But I don't know if this is confusing or not. If the yellowish bone color, in this case, quite a bit of it is ice yellow, is the same yellow that I mixed with the purple and the same yellow that's mixed in with this kind of greener gray, you're getting color harmony. Your eye is going to recognize that those colors, think of it as they know each other, because they actually both contain each other in them, if that makes sense. So it's always going to look kind of correct. Of course, it could still be sloppy or whatever, and mine is here, but we're just basically cleaning it up as we go. It's always going to somewhat look correct because all the colors I'm using are in all the colors I'm using. So if that makes sense, that's how you're creating color harmony. The colors are, and it's so weird it's going to sound stupid, but the colors talk to each other. So when complementary colors are side by side, they vibrate in a, visual sense. Let's see if we can demonstrate it. So, that's like my brightest orange and my brightest blue. Side by side there. So when they're side by side and being complementary colors, they both look brighter. Think of like a lot of sports team uniforms. A lot of times they're complementary colors because they look brighter. Then if you took blue and orange and mixed them, I don't have enough orange on my palette. I'll just take it from here. I don't have enough because the blue's stronger. So mixing these two bright colors that are side by side make this desaturated neutral tone. We'll call that a gray or a brown. It's basically a gray. All of them do it. Yellow and purple will do it, but it's slightly different. Green and red will do it, but it's slightly different. And then if you took a white and lightened it up, you see what I mean? Like, so that is those two colors, blue and orange plus white, and it's gray now. That's because they're complementary colors. That's what they do. So when it comes to color theory, I think just maybe watch a few videos on complementary color. And if you just have kind of a basic understanding of the complementary colors, you can kind of play with them in the way I'm doing right now. That might have got a little confusing, but hopefully it made sense. I wasn't planning on trying to put it into words right now, but hopefully it was somewhat decent explanation. There's actually a YouTuber, I think his name is Marco Bucci. He does like digital art, but he does really good, almost like little, I think it's called like Better Painting in 10 Minutes or Less series. And they're a nice, basically, they're like a free little college course in 10 minutes. And because he's a digital artist, he can explain the theories with editing on his videos and not just me trying to demonstrate it in real life on a piece of paper. But yeah, you might want to check him out. He's cool. I think we can go quite a bit more bone color on this. Oh, I didn't base coat the little dagger on the bottom. We'll get that here right now. Let me get that cadmium color and base coat the little bottom spear tip. So yeah, the theory that I'm basically working with here is because all my colors are mixing with each other, they're all going to look decent next to each other because they all somewhat contain each other. Let's get a little bit of an oranger brown tone here. Put some just a little bit of variation in some of our bones. Because these guys are like these weird bone constructs, it's kind of fun. You get to just pick out some different basically bone shapes and highlight it with a color and then move on to the next. All right, so we're moving along pretty good. So I am the creator of the ghost brushes, so full disclosure there. So I like them. This one here is like maybe 2.5 years old, so it's taken quite a beating, but it's the brush I've been using the whole time on the model here and in the last 2 streams mostly. They hold their shape pretty well. Like, you take care of them. I can show you. If you see, let me get something to point with. So you see right there, maybe you get the paper towel. you can see the dark line right there. That's where I got paint in the ferrule and it dried, which is the exact thing that you can do to ruin your paintbrush. So it happens with synthetic brushes. You don't have to worry about it as much, but you can see, if you see that dark line, especially on this one here, that's paint in the ferrule. I'll show you on a big brush. This one's not mine, but when you get, it's a big one. When you get paint in the ferrule, it causes pressure. Do you see how that fans out when I'm squeezing there? So that's one of the, if there's paint buildup, you see how it's dark there? That's what starts to put pressure on your paintbrush, and then it ruins the tip. That's what starts to ruin the tip. Another thing that ruins the tip is how I'm painting this guy right now, where I'm stabbing the brush into these little skull highs and little skull areas that are kind of rough texture. I'm painting fast. I'm just brushing it wildly over the model. And part of that is because, I have many of these brushes, even though I'm using the same one that I almost always use. Because I'm not somebody that likes to just throw things away. So you should be able to get a lot of models painted out of your paintbrushes if you're interested in the set or the Kickstarter. When we get down to some of the little details later, I will bring out the new ones, the Ghost Tiny set that's kind of the main focus of the new Kickstarter. The current, I think that would look nice, maybe purple. I don't think I did that on the other ones, but I think it'll be nice on this guy. So yeah, another thing too is like almost nobody doesn't like them. Like the people that back the projects have been super happy with them. I haven't had any real complaints. I haven't had to replace or return. I mean, less than 100, and I've shipped, 50,000, something like that. I don't know. So they're good. That being said, I am the creator, so I can't not like them. So it's not like an unbiased review. If you want a Inquisitor Zane in the building, what's going on, man? Welcome. Yeah, Zane somehow manages to put him in like super glue and stuff, and he still likes them. If you want a really high-end Kolinsky paintbrush, my favorite brand is Escoda. This is the Escoda Optimo. They're from Spain, and they're a nice Kolinsky. I don't think I've really used them in a year or so. I barely ever pull them out. I don't have really any need for them because I have so many nice paintbrushes of my own. But those Kolinskys are really nice. So if you wanted like one Kolinsky sable brush to be a part of the cool crowd, it's a good choice. But these ones would be a nice choice for kind of your day-to-day workhorse style painting. If you ever watch the stream on YouTube, or I think he's on Twitch, or I know he's on Twitch as well, James Wapple, he paints with like real cheap brushes and then just switches to the fine tip ones somewhat near the end. I'm trying to make a dark gray to kind of highlight his saddle. We basically just kind of ignored the saddle on the other models, and that's fine. We don't care. Just as long as we put a little bit of a touch of a highlight on it, it should be fine. All right, let's jump this up a little bit. I think he's ready to get highlighted more. I'm going to put more of this bone or ice yellow out on the palette. Seem to have lost my pool. And I'll put this bone white. I think the Ghost Tiny paintbrush will be destroyed in one drop of super glue. That's my prediction. I don't know if this is going to be a better or worse idea, but I'll show you here. This is the size 1 Ghost dry brush. And let's just see if we can't kind of highlight this banner in. This isn't quite a dry brush that I'm doing. It's more of an overbrush because I didn't even wipe it off. But I'm just trying to build up a little bit of a highlight on it quickly. There we go. Got to rinse that one off since I'm not going to be... These ones, like skeletons like this, really are perfect for wash, dry brush style painting, but it's really a lot of fun to get out a wet palette. And this is kind of like an oil painting style of painting. But I'm doing it with acrylics. All right, let's take that ice yellow and let's maybe take a touch of this rotten white. There we go. We got some more bone colors there. Kind of highlight up the top here. Get the horse. Like I said, on these kind of rib cage style bones, I like putting a little highlight down the middle. You know, we'll use this color too to start separating out our armor panel. From the blue. Kind of the only wrong answer in this style of painting that I'm doing right now is if you're getting that blue on colors adjacent to it, it's probably going to look like that shouldn't be there. It's going to look like overspray or over painting, which we don't want. So. All right, let's go. Sometimes I like, I don't know, I like mix. Oh, that might be a little too much moisture. I've kind of been enjoying putting the kind of green into our Deathrider himself. Giving him a little bit of a greenish tint. And just moving around the model here. And then maybe a little bit of a greenish tint to some of this stuff. And we'll pull some of that green maybe down into our skeleton horse. Looks like we really ignored this inner part of his. Oh, I shouldn't have done blue. Inner part of his leg here. So we'll just put some color on that to make sure we don't leave that as just the wash. I think he's all right. I think we keep going lighter now and just working. Oh, maybe we'll take some of this green, maybe even a little bit of this turquoise or emerald green. Get a really weird one and maybe pick out a little bit of these skulls. We'll make sure we wash that kind of away. It's kind of brighter than the other ones. But that's okay. We're not too worried about if they're got some differences and whatnot between them. Also, you can kind of take your black and mix some kind of darker color to kind of knock areas back. If you feel like maybe you put a highlight too bright on a part, that should maybe be more in shadow. Awesome. Now I'll rinse the brush. And let's take some of that rotten white and lighten that up again. With miniature painting too, I always, people look at the faces, banners, weapons. So, we want to try to bring the lightest lights into the face of our horse, little face of our skeleton. It's kind of like hands, feet, faces, weapons. People just look at them more. This banner is going to draw a lot of attention. I have no idea how we're going to make this interesting or good. But we'll try. Cool. And I think we can lighten this area up too. And I'll jump back over, look at the chat here in 1 second. And I think we'll make that tail, bring it back to kind of a greener tail. All right, let me see. We got an exciting chat going on. I got to catch up. Yeah, I think they'll probably all be destroyed, Zane, if you just leave them all in water. Yeah, it's kind of interesting with the. I've only painted a few of these guys, but I haven't used any actual metallic paint yet, so I'm not sure if I want to introduce any metallic paint into their painting. But some spots would be nice to just make metallic and put a wash on it and just kind of be done. I'm going to put another coat of that cadmium flesh on our weapons and stuff and our glowing gems. You know, I didn't ever highlight the handle of his sword. So I'm going to have to do that as well. You know, I think we need a nice brown on the palette. We'll try this one. Burned flesh. It's not much browner than that other color. Dark flesh. I'll put that here. I'm going to mix that up here and make just a weird color. Maybe there's some spots for this. Maybe we could bring it into his hooves a little bit. Kind of using this weird dark brown mixture to, if we see some areas that maybe were left a little too bright from the early wash stages and just happen to miss all the painting we've done. Armpits, underneath helmets and stuff. We're just going to go ahead and actually underneath the tail here, maybe inside the back of the legs. Cool. All right, let's keep working up. Oh, we still got. There we go. All right, we'll take some of that ice yellow. And this will probably be our one of our final highlights, maybe on the horse. And I think that kind of brings the horse up to speed. Yeah, this kind of piece of, well, no, that could be bone, I guess. I think we're going to do no metallics on this army. Unless we have to. I don't know. I'm not sure I've seen any pieces, though, yet that need. I think you're right, though, that it would look nice. It's just one of those things. It's hard to decide. All right, so we got kind of the yellow. There we go. We dropped our model. We always drop the model. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, I could do like, yeah, I don't know about all this trim. It'd be nice to like not do anything at all with it. That'd be great. Just completely not mess with it. We're gonna reapply our kind of maroon color to our decorative handles here. And then we'll go ahead and just take a little bit of that rotten white and just kind of tap some little highlights down the side. There we go. That's fine. Seems like it could have a little more blue, maybe some areas where we missed. Let's get a little bit of this just kind of a wet downward stroke there, trying to pretend that we're highlighting it all up. Oh, can't really get the behind there. And we'll do that a little bit on our horse cloth, whatever that's called. Oh, a little heavy there. That's fine. Just then maybe mix a little bit more of the light color into it. Now we'll save that. We'll do that with the little brush. Actually, we'll do this. Just trying to bring some light variation into the banner, making it a little brighter on the bottom for no real reason. Just trying to add some interest. Cool. You know, I didn't do anything with those birds. Let's take a big scoop of, oh, you can't see. Let me move that in. This is the African shadow and Indian shadow colors. We'll paint like the wings of these birds. And maybe the whole bird. We'll just put this on the birds. That way they'll have some of the same colors that are in the model, in the maroon parts of the model anyway. But we'll change it up so they're not the exact same. It's one thing when you're painting, if you paint something a color, you're kind of telling the viewer that material is that color. So if you paint this bird the same color as the cloth, say here, then it's like saying this bird is made out of that cloth, or that cloth is made out of this bird. But if you just use some of the same colors for, say, your base coat, and then highlight it differently, you can make it look like it's harmonious, but has a pretty good variation still. Rotten white into our mixture. Get the face of the skelly. Get the knuckles. Definitely the feet and knee here. Just trying to bring some lights into him. We want him to stand out somewhat. We'll go ahead and use that, maybe get some of this. And why not? We'll put some of it around our horse's face. And we'll put some of it on the horse's neck. And we'll use it to highlight our top part of the horse a bit. Maybe a little bit in these again. There we go. I think that's all right. Maybe a little bit there. Yeah, the reason, back to the color theory, gold looks good with blue because gold is orangish. So they're kind of complementary. So it is definitely a nice look. And I think we can, let me jump over. I'm going to jump with the Ghost Tiny here and show you some little tap highlights that I like to do. We'll get just a handle. Oh, what color were you doing the towel? All right, let's take a little bit of the liquid, get our brush damp, some of the white, mix it into our lightest kind of blue area. And we'll put some little kind of hatch marks. That's with the Ghost Tiny brush here. Kind of like how somebody would maybe highlight with like a colored pencil. And we'll put some of the highlights on this side. A little heavy there. There we go. Build up a little bit of that. With the little brushes, you want to keep rinsing them or keep them wet just to help avoid any weird paint drying and ruining the tip. Kind of hit this one with like an edge highlight. All the way down. And we'll sort of edge highlight the holes, just the bottoms. And then I'll use somewhat of a hatch mark stroke. And we'll rinse it off and do it again on the back. Just creating some interest in our banner here. Oh, you know, we should get the top too. Okay. So we kind of created a little bit of a gradient. Now we'll go ahead and jump over to like a somewhat of a pure rotten white. It's not 100% pure because it's going to be mixed with whatever colors are around it. Let's just tap on some little, almost pure white highlights around the faces. And little bits of white here and there on some of the bones. Rinse it. Don't want to leave too much time on the brush with the light. There we go. I just kind of putting some little taps. Actually, put some on here too. Why not? There we go. Cool. Oh, yeah. I don't know. To me, like I don't like clear bases on models because clear isn't invisible. It just looks like clear plastic in my mind. You know, I think we left this spike a little too green, so let's tone that down a touch. There we go. All right, I think he's basically ready for some washes. Actually, maybe the little Ghost Tiny be perfect for picking out little details. So I don't want to mix with it though. let me mix up some color here. Oh, wrong one. Just trying to pick these runes out a little bit here, but not go too crazy. Or they're not even like runes, they're just like the banner designs. Oh, we're getting them okay. This is well, I got to kind of hold my breath a little bit. But the color we're using is somewhat of a flesh tone. That's not too bad. Looks like we got a little sloppy with some blue on our banner up here. So I'm just going to try to remove it a little bit here. Like I was saying earlier, basically the only mistake is going to be getting blue on places next to the blue cloth and whatnot to make it just look like it was a mistake instead of, you know, a bluish bone or something supposed to be there. Oh, you know, we can go a little. Oh, that's too bright though. Actually, it might be fine. We can go a little bit with our kind of maroonish pink tone in here. All right, let's I'm going to go Celestra Gray. Get this pushed to the side. Celestra Gray. Paper towel. Oh, I should be using my paint pot holder. If I'm keeping that open, we don't want to knock it over. I'm going to hold the banner. Oh, that's way too much. I didn't wipe enough off. Oh, well, we're going with it. I really should have just cut these birds off. I don't even want to paint them. Especially when I make a mistake like that. All right, now they're kind of way too dry. Well, not even dry brushed, over brushed. Alrighty, let's get a bottle cap. Oh no, that's not what we do yet. We're on this stage. Well, if you're trying to hide the fact that you 3D printed your entire Tau army, clear resin's probably not the best idea, but if you don't care, then go ahead. All right, red ink, game ink, red. The wash on our weapon. That's one reason why we haven't really done any metallics on these guys is so far all the weapons, we're kind of treating them as like 40k power weapons or whatever. You can see though, just because all the colors on him are so muted, the brights look bright. Get our gemstones. There we go. Now we'll get the ghost tiny again. Ice yellow. Shouldn't be mixing with this, but I'm gonna. Trying to use the side of the brush to just hit the raised areas. Cool. And we're going to do that same thing on the beaks of our little birds. You know, maybe they should have black beaks. Nah, we'll just do this. This is fine. They could have like black beaks though, like they're ravens or something. And we'll hit the little bird feet. Basically, we're trying to paint the bird without painting the bird. Yeah, I think that's fine. Rinse that off. Get my brush in our little mixture here. We're actually running low on that. Make kind of a darker wash, maybe a black brown. I'm going to hit these like teeth. He's got kind of a dark jawline. Oh, we totally missed this one again. Good thing we still got our ink out. Keep missing the little spear down here. Cool. All right, let's take some of this Fire Slayer orange, put it on the palette. Some of this gemstone stuff is probably still wet, but we're just going to dab it on just to kind of get the foundation of our highlight or whatever. But like I said, we'll go back and do the swords and stuff when they're all done. I'm going to actually take a little bit of icy yellow and put like a hard edge on the top of the sword. Maybe on the oh, how did we get it on the side there? Oh well. Oh, a couple more places. Cool. All right, I think we'll let him dry for a minute. I get like pure ice, well, ice yellow and white. And just get the other cheekbone a little bit and bottom jaw. And actually, maybe a little bit of this bluer tone back into the helmet. I feel like we kind of left the helmet hanging a little bit. Just trying to separate the helmet from the face. And I don't think we highlighted this. Or this. Maybe we did. We definitely highlighted that, but it's hard to see. There we go. I think he's ready for the wash. Blown dry. If you guys are watching and you haven't hit thumbs up yet, please do. Helps people find the stream. I know it's not the best stream you ever seen in your whole life, but we're having a good time. And then hopefully after the wash, he turns into something like this. Or something like this one. This is the other one we did. Yeah, we're still at about an hour and a half. But he had the big banner and stuff, so maybe that's why he takes longer. Maybe the other ones could be a little quicker. But I don't know. I could probably do maybe 2 at once off stream. But it's more fun, I think, on stream to just watch one model get painted up. And for the wash, we're going to go with the panel line black. So I'm going to go ahead and move the wet palette out of the way for a minute. So that'll be... Oh, I almost stuck his banner in the red ink. That would have been fun. Put that out of the way. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to let that just dry for a second. So jump over here at the chat, see what's going on with everybody. Here's the first guy we did. I don't think he's quite as dark as his friends, but that's okay. He's a wizard. So after this banner guy's done, we still have 7 more that are all at this stage. So I probably need to figure out how to... I mean, I don't know, an hour and a half per guy is not terribly long. It's just that kind of that same hour and a half over and over and over again. Oh yeah, you're doing camo. So you're doing like a whole Going all in on Predator. All right, so I think this is dry. We're going to really pile this on the birds first. And hopefully that's enough to give us some interesting little birds. Without having to do too much work on them. Kind of just trying to, instead of using this as a panel liner, I'm basically using it as a wash, trying to make sure I cover all parts of the birds if possible. Really don't want to miss any spots here, but I think we got it. And I think we can darken some of this up. Definitely along the where the banner pole is touching. Maybe into these little strappy things. I think it's actually supposed to be like little leather straps, but everything's just bone. We're fine with that. There we go. I'm kind of darken that up. Now, hopefully, if we just dab this panel liner on our little runes, or whatever these are, we'll get something that's remotely interesting. So the way it kind of naturally stains around too will help give us a little contrast in the around where that is. And then, you know what, maybe we'll just put it in, put it above the holes a little bit. And we'll do that on the back here. There we go. Just made it a little interesting. All right, looks like we already got it in his fingers. But we'll go ahead and get the handle of his weapon. All right, now that arm, oh, make sure we get it underneath the armor and in the joints. So that arm's basically done. Now let's work on the face here. Oh, you know what? He has a little gemstone in his helmet too. So I think we gotta, well, we're gonna have to let all this dry, but we'll go back and get that. See, one of the reasons I wanted to go like pure white on the face is that way the panel liner will leave it still like a nice highlight. Okay, the arm. Staining the blue is definitely good because we didn't do a ton on the blue armor, so it's nice to get something going that looks good. Any part where he's like pieces are overlapping or touching each other, touching the saddle, make sure we get that. Get the top of this where the bones are. And we'll get in there where that bone connects. And that one. We'll go ahead and put it in those skulls too. Definitely want to get the foot. This part's important too. You want to create that separation of where the blue armor and the bone armor are kind of overlapping. Make it interesting. Too much in the gem, but we'll go back and pull from it. Try to fill in his teeth. Get the bones around the eye. It's a mold line, but the nose and crack down the front of his face. I'll dab away some with my finger. So we're not 100% just dousing the model, but we are going pretty heavy and using it in a lot of spaces. And I think that, we should get this spine, I guess. I didn't think really get this leg. All right. That stuff is a little stinky sometimes when you use a lot of it. But there we have it. I think he's pretty good. Obviously, we'll go back and once all this is dry, we'll touch up maybe a little bit of highlight on the birds, the power magic orange weapons. The gems. Actually, I'm going to use a little sponge and try to absorb some of that away from that gem. There we go. A little heavy. Oh, and then also we got to pick out that little tiny gem on his helmet that we just found. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think he matches well with the others. And I think we got 3 of them done, more or less. Thank you guys. I think we're going to call the stream here. I might do another stream tonight not 100% sure. I'm going to try and max out my push-ups tomorrow. And I'm going to try and do 1,000. So I think my last record was like 800 or something. So I'm going to try to do 1,000 push-ups tomorrow. So I might not be able to paint tomorrow night. We'll see. So maybe it's in my best interest to try to get one more of these painted. It'd be nice once I have 2 more painted, because then I'll have enough to have a squad. But I'm going to try to get all 10 done. And actually, it gets a little tedious. But here, I'll move my... Like, I finally kind of got these guys done to a level of done enough. I'll go back in and work on the gemstones. But for the most part, my 40 Guardians and 4 weapon platforms are good to go. And when you work on projects like that, it's like, I don't know, it just feels real draining. So doing 10 of these little horse guys, I mean, we're kind of cranking them up pretty quick, about an hour and a half a piece. But, well, actually a little more, because if you count like the base coat washes that I did last night and the priming and stuff, 2 hours a piece, I'd say. So it's not terrible, but yeah, I wouldn't mind speeding this up a little faster for, say, the 60 spearmen that I got. No way do I think I want to be doing those guys for an hour a piece, painting on them. But yeah, I think the army's looking good, so I've been pretty excited about it. My whole plan, I think, is while I'm excited about the army, keep going with this Ossiarch Bonereaper army. Just excited to do it. Keep going, keep pushing, because when you lose a little bit of that momentum, it might be hard to push yourself to finish the last few units. So I think after these 10 guys, I think I really should start putting some colors on the spearmen, because they're going to be quite a hassle. And then when it's all said and done, at some point, I'll paint Archon the black, and then I'll probably pick up Catacross and paint him, just so I kind of have the whole army. I don't think I'm going to get Nagash, but we'll see. Maybe. Actually had a Nagash once and ended up giving it away, and then the person never collected it, and then they got rid of it. So anyway, thank you. Hopefully we'll give you one last look at the Deathriders. They're the Ossiarch Bonereapers. So here we go. Please subscribe while you're looking. We have this guy. He's like the healer bone shaper guy. We have the standard bearer that we just are working on. He's drying with his wash, panel liner wash. And the last 2 we have here. So, like I said, we're still going to go back and really sharpen up the orange gems and swords once they're all to this stage. He's done. He's fine. But yeah, once all the cav are all to that stage of completing or completeness, I'll go back and sharpen up the swords. And they should look pretty good. And then, of course, we got to base them all. So, also, it's not too crazy, but I decided to add a couple little rocks on some of the bases, because I was thinking it might be a little too plain. So I've been going back through the army and adding some rocks here and there. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button. Please check out the Ghost Tiny Kickstarter. We are, hold on, I'm refreshing the page, just under 99,000. So if you haven't yet, check out Ghost Tiny Kickstarter. only $220 left to hit 99,000. And at 100,000, we have a big stretch goal where most of the sets get an additional Ghost Tiny set. The only ones that don't are the people that just want the classic sets, because I already have those. So those will be shipped out before the Ghost Tiny sets are even made by the factory and shipped to me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and possibly see you again tonight or very soon. Please subscribe.